look at your rates, not lowering your regular rate, keep it where it is, or raise whatever your plan is, but add something that is more affordable. Digital downloads, group coaching if you do groups, pre-recorded programs, maybe workbooks, just standalone audio recordings. Business gurus will always tell you it is easier to sell high-ticket programs. It's not. You'll sell odd here, there. Cheap stuff still sell more. If economy completely falls apart, make sure that you have a plan for it. Instead of worrying what's gonna happen, where to get clients, trying to offer these free bonuses, put that time and energy into creating something that can produce you income. Don't look down on a tiny price tickets. Tiny, I mean couple of dollars. They make a lot of money. When you create those and put out for sale every day in your sleep, steady. Here, there, everywhere. Of your website, your YouTube, on Facebook, sell few, your Etsy shops, Payhip where you can sell also downloadables. It all adds up. You just have to put it into enough places and create enough. And when you wake up every day and you see something coming, maybe not humongous amount, but you see it every morning. You don't have that pressure. Today, I need to get a client and I'm going to take in anyone who calls. When you don't have that pressure, you're more free. You are pickier about whom you're giving your time to, and you don't put yourself into bad situations. So that's what I really wanted to remind you. Scripts sell good too. Write scripts. If you're having trouble writing scripts, read fairy tales. Good exercise for you. Take a fairy tale and reframe it in a way it would solve some issue. How would you tell that story then? So that's one way. Another way, do your journey. Should be practicing regularly anyway. Do your journey. Then whatever you see, whatever places you've explored, put it on the paper. Or even easier, just tell it on your audio recording. Convert it into video, into meditation, upload it on YouTube. In a couple of days, it'll give you transcription. Copy it, put it on the paper, clean it up. Here's script ready for sale. And then since you've already created this audio, package it and sell too as an audio. Etsy, Payhip, right off your website to sell as instant download. Like besides the other places where it's very convenient, you still have to pay your share. And then the more places, the better. So do add it to your website if you're not selling anything else. Store the files in the Dropbox. Free subscription's all you need. If it gets filled, open a new one with another email. Because the goal is not to spend more money, to make more money. So you upload it there. Then you create a pay button, a product on your PayPal account, and you put the link, it says instant, the link to your Dropbox to that specific recording. Then you create a little thumbnail and put it on your website and add that button you've created in PayPal. Very easy. All the income from it, besides the PayPal fee, which is not too big, is yours. You want to place your products on as many places as possible so you maximize your chances and sell more.
I have a question, Guzalia. When you're putting all these products and all these meditations and scripts, do you just have several of those that you make and you put them out there without any credit to you or copyright? How do you do that? So all those that you write and you do stuff that you put out there that you decide to give for free, it doesn't matter if they're replicated by anybody. But if you do other ones,
I've write there. Even in my book too, I've wrote that. You're free to use, to record your audios, to work with your clients. The only thing is not possible to do is to copy it and publish. Like if they write a book, it's not even because I wouldn't like it, but because they'll get caught. Everything's automated online. It's already copyrighted and published. They'll be caught then it's theft of intellectual property, jail time, and serious things happen.
So if we do our own, basically, that's what I'm saying. Do we copyright it? So
You don't know
like I get
automatically. The law, you'll have to look up the actual wording of the law. As soon as you publish something legally, it's copyrighted already.
if it's your material.
Yes.
Like
if I write a book, for example, then the earliest copy I will email to myself. So I have the earliest date on record in case something happened. There are few agencies you can submit your work and do official copyright, and it will cost you money. And I don't think it's necessary at all because, well, just Google what is the current law on intellectual property. It will tell us that as soon as you publish and you wrote it and publish, anyway, it's instantly copyrighted, legally protected. When you're selling the scripts, you can always write. You're free to. What are they free to do? Use it with your clients one-on-one, in groups. You're free to produce your own audios, but you cannot reproduce it in writing, text, published.
Okay, because I get downloaded journeys, like downloaded journeys that I'm taking into or whatever, and I want to translate those into journeys or scripts. And I was just several out there for free, whoever wants to replicate, but people do steal.
If you're receiving those in your journeys, they're going to be probably extraordinary, I suspect. Then put it in a book.
Okay.
And publish on Amazon, and then it is copyright. It's it. No one can reproduce it in writing and publish it on Amazon. They will catch instantly.
Okay.
Everything's automated. Once you publish the book, then you can take the scripts and sell one by one if you wish so. Because you will make more money selling separate scripts. I don't know why it's this way. My book with few scripts, $29 or whatever on Amazon they are selling it now. The scripts I sell on Etsy, they're from $10 to $25. People will buy all of them, but won't spend this money on book. And I write there, included, if you have this book, you don't need this, you have the script. You work with what demand is. Yes, if you are putting a lot of energy into creating something amazing, yes, put it in a book first, publish on Amazon, then you're protected. And then you take that material and sell it in pieces.
I was going to say, if you remind me, there's an attorney that I follow on Instagram, and she actually does free little workshops where she gets into this, like the disclaimers, the copyrights.
Share it in a group, please. Few people were asking about copywriting. And people forget about it. The lady, she asked if she can take mine and use it as her own. That's not how it works. Obviously, I wrote her, this is illegal, and you will go to jail, and you will also lose everything you have. But there is absolutely no reason why you cannot write your own. It's not rocket science. You don't need to go to college for 5 years. You just write what you see. Maybe we should do on scripting a workshop.
Then we have to look, like if you print, not to put, I don't know, if you were to say guided meditations or guided downloads, just we got to watch the words we put on Amazon, right? That's the same thing. If you do a book, the title of the book and all that, just look for the appropriate names, like you said before. Like you can't call something journal or
like logbook is the word.
The word logbook.
There is patent on it, but the guided meditations are not.
Guided journeys, something like that.
If you're gonna script some journey, I will write whole manual, short instruction on how to use it, maybe how to, for what situations are better, which one. Maybe even pair it with you are expert on crystals.
Exactly, because what I get is the crystal download.
Yeah, so that's your strength. Describe it. I mean, Scripts are so wonderful for books because they're massive. It's a big volume. You put few scripts, you already have a book. Then you just add few instructions and you have a book ready and off you go, make money in your sleep. And then, I mean, it's your advertising. The advertising that people pay you for. You all should be publishing something. Put all your information, links to your stuff. I'm redoing my past life regression book because somebody told me that I have old websites that I didn't pay attention. Lost track. Little things. Start producing when you have free time. Instead of worrying what's gonna happen, where to get clients, start producing content. Not content as a free bonuses, but products to make money. So you've meditated, you went on shamanic journey. Jot down, map out what you've seen, what happened, what benefits you've got. Create a recording based on that. Create a script. Then you can create a little program too based on that one journey. Pair a little bit crystal information, pair it with these oils, when to do it, combine it with the grounding, deep breath practices. You have a whole program. Won't take you a long time, couple of hours, and you can put it out $35-50 and it'll be selling while you sleep. Classes too, because people are losing jobs. There will be massive layouts. People will be sitting home looking for new ways to make money, new professions, new careers. Classes, courses, if you haven't done any yet, consider that. If you start with the smaller ones, then you don't need to invest into any course costing subscriptions. Just like when we did mine, I just emailed it to you through WeTransfer. Easiest way, you don't pay anything to anybody, you just do it. Then, as we talked one of the times, you can do it on Facebook group for free too. Give access only to people who paid for it. And there is no way to process payments there. So you just invoice them and have them pay maybe through your website. And then you give them access. So to remember how it was, you put into guides and you organize in a sensible order. Like lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3. And then they're on their own time can study. And also in Facebook, it's interactive. They have questions they can ask right there, interact with each other, help each other. The only matter of being very diligent who you give access to, track everything. So
the nice thing about that too is once you have it, it doesn't go anywhere. So I once did an event that I held in group. And it was a daily thing for, I think, something like 14 days. By the time I was done, I turned it into a book. So I had an ebook. I had a recording that went with it that was added in. I had videos that were accompanying. So I made a full class after that I could then put elsewhere. So it's a nice way to build yourself up to things too. If you're having a hard time making things, it's really helpful. Yeah. And people will pay to have it all put together and assembled, not have to go and download and do things themselves.
So basically you would charge them to join the program or the group. And like she said, just have send a link or something, PayPal or whatever.
At the time I didn't because it was my first time and I was just starting, but you could have a development group or a group with a specific theme and then build on it that way.
You can have your regular group and then funnel them through to the paid ones.
Yeah, like a workshop or because I've been feeling kind of like to do 2-week or 21-day challenge type thing and then have that where you share daily stuff.
If you're just gonna build it on your computer, you really need PDFs or Word written instructions. You record video, you host them on YouTube, and then you share them. You can put them private. And then if you worry that people share them, you lock them in private mode and then you register every email of every person you're going to share. So they will be able to log in and see it only with that email. You can also store your course if it's not overly massive on cloud or not cloud. What is it called?
Cloud.
I think so.
iCloud or Google Drive. Google Drive is
Yeah, So if your course is not overly massive, you can store it there and grant access. Well, since now you all will be doing courses and classes, think before who are you going to address first. Because if you're doing professional ones, teaching somebody, it's a very, very narrow niche, like hypnosis and healing. Although we live in it, sleep with it, eat with it, every morning wake up and we think this is the entire world. No, we're a very tiny part of the world, very, very tiny population. But there is an entire world that can use our help. Entire world can use skills of mindfulness, awareness, meditation. It's a much bigger pool. There's much more money, is what I'm trying to say. If your goal is to make as much money as possible, to have something coming in, if you're going to do little programs, start for wide population. Then maybe once you establish some flow of income, then do professional classes or courses. Meditation class, mindfulness class can be tiny, can be big. Tiny, sell better. Shorter, sell better. Start with little ones and then expand to longer ones. And then maybe you'll start with a very tiny one audio and instruction and it will start snowballing and growing. It's a living body. Don't try to sit down and plan out like whole year course. You'll never get it done. You'll get overwhelmed and feel guilty. It'll feel like failure. Don't set yourself for that.
You'll
Start
never
with
get done,
little.
and then your people will never do it either.
Exactly. And well, try to sell it too. Now you have to pay me monthly subscription. And yeah, if you don't get your money in one chunk, most likely you'll never get your money. That too. The subscriptions, splitting payments. There is no way for us to reinforce those. Make it affordable so people can pay in one chunk. Start with something very doable. You already have so many ideas. You probably already created something. You probably can, clean up your files and form it into some package. What you already have. Once you put it out for sale, it will feel so good. It's accomplishment. It's accomplishment and it registers in the brain. And once first copy sells, it'll give you so much inspiration to create more. You'll be popping out like a factory in those things. Law of graduality, little by little. Start with little doable things and then you expand them.
It's so interesting, Guzalia, that you're saying that. There's a card that keeps coming out for me from the same deck. And I'm like, what in the world? And it's called Vananda Crystal, Vananda. And it's all about, when are you going to start writing? When are you going to start writing? When are you going to start writing? The energy pull is that card. And I'm like, okay, universe, I got it. And now you're mentioning it.
Start talking about it a year ago. I thought by now you'd be all published authors.
My high school English teacher went out of her way to message me and ask me, have you published something yet? Why not? Just take your small stuff that you post online and put it in a book and just get it published. But I was like, I was honored. I'm like, that was like 20 years ago, and she still remembers my writing and is rooting for me.
My anosmia book on the lost sense of smell, that came from a Facebook post. Somebody asked me a question. A gentleman that we're friends with from England, he said he has this problem, nothing, and help theoretically. Could hypnosis help? And I wrote a post, and then other people wrote that you can't find help for that anywhere, but there is actually lots of people suffering from those conditions. And I did a little bit of research, that true, and then funny thing happened, people start calling me for that. And then few months I worked with them. There were certain patterns, what worked, what not, what was very effective. And book came out from it.
And so is that like a smaller little book you did, or did you like make it a part of a bigger?
It's a whole manual on how to do it.
But just for that specific thing?
For this specific condition. I ran maybe 3 or 4 times I did live course for that. on Zoom. Had bunch of medical doctors coming in. That's why I started doing the course, because they were buying my book and inquiring, calling. The number is really big. I don't remember exactly, but it's almost as, 1 in every 10 people suffer of some sort of loss or diminished sense of smell, and there are different causes to traumas, infections, psychosomatic. It's a very, very interesting topic too. But how many conditions like this out there that there are no help for yet? And you every night just sleep calmly, not bothered by guilt or anything when people need help. The challenge is something like you did, I guess, Amanda, right? You did 2 weeks?
That was about 14 days, yeah.
14
But
days?
you didn't have to have it all together. So my whole thing was a guide for intuition.
Mhm.
I shared memories that I had. So sharing my experience, I would share a daily quote, and I would assign a daily piece of homework for them to explore. If I needed to, I would make a demonstration video on how they could do it. So I taught some skills along the way. And then just a demonstration of how I did that. And at the end, I was able to have enough things to make a PDF, put it all together, make a course. I, at one point, had it in my website shop that people could buy it. And then I would include a session attached to work one-on-one with me to deepen into it. So if they had any blocks, they were having problems, we could release it with hypnosis. So, I mean, but just starting and just build as you go.
When you say quotes, because that's something I'm like big into. I like quotes and then kind of like writing out my thoughts on it or something. So were these your quotes or were these other people's quotes? And then how did you do that? Did you just reference it like a copyright thing when you published it, or because that's where I get caught up on?
I quoted it with the author's name. So I found famous people that I enjoy who quoted on intuition, people like Pinkola Estevez, Carolyn Miss, Robert Ohado, people that I looked up to who just had quotes on that topic. I made a meme of it in Canva, each and every one with the author's name there too, so they know who it was.
And that's where I was confused on. So as long as you actually use their name and stuff, you don't have to
taking credit for other people's quotes.
And that's it. But that's where I just, those little fine details, that's where I get caught up. Like, do you need to contact their person to get permission to use it in a book you're publishing? Or again, you just, okay, thank you.
And there are websites out there. So there are search engines just of that for inspirational quotes. And then you can type in what you're looking for and they're already up there.
Okay. I literally have a bind stuff in books and things too, but that's the part that I've always gotten like caught up on, because I always think like you need to be getting permission and you have to pay like some royalty to them and all that stuff. So
what I'm hearing is perfectionism.
Yeah.
And you get mentally in your head.
I've gotten a little better at it.
We know.
Yeah, you're trying to create a problem that doesn't exist just so you don't have to face the real problem.
Yeah.
That's the situation.
Well, it's almost like the being cautious. And like my mom will say, you're just like your father and your grandmother. You're always worrying. And then I'm also
well,
the
then you
insurance
just
industry,
Google,
so I
just Google and send people message. It's not a problem. It can be solved in 3 minutes.
Find someone who's already done it and model after that. It's going to get you out of your head. It's going to give you some steps to follow.
Well, you're a perfect example of that. Because like I said, I already have material sitting around that I've worked on. It's just that, like, do I have everything before I, put it out there, or I take that little leap? And then again, you're telling me I've done it. It's fine. You can do it. And again, I follow you and I see the stuff that you put out there and stuff. I've not done your workshops or programs, but it's kind of like, okay, so take what I have and just start with, like she said, a small one.
Just to be clear, the 14-day challenge, I had nothing. The whole basis was to hold myself accountable in a very public way so that I had no choice but to show up and to create. And then I wasn't overthinking it because shit, I have a deadline to meet. So do that. Put yourself in that box, choose a theme, stick to your theme, choose the format, say, okay, I want to have one meme a day. I want to have one inspirational quote. I'm going to share one memory or experience.
Well, that's exactly how I had it planned. Like exactly like you said, like here's a quote, here's somehow it, an experience that I've had, how I've applied it. I want to suggest you do this today, and let's go out and do it. And
I
you
hear
may
a
have
lot
a plan.
talking.
And
I see no doing. Go do it. You're ready.
well, and
Thank
again,
you,
now I feel better.
Amanda.
I had this stuff in my head, but I've been so sick that it's like I don't have the energy to do it. So it's like I didn't want to commit to starting something because I don't know if tomorrow's going to be a good or a bad day.
Life,
So when I
life
committed,
happen every day.
yeah, when I committed, it was 14 days, no matter how it was going. If I was sick, guess what? I was showing up authentic and sick. And that's how that's going to go.
So,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, keep forgetting. Sorry. The word challenge on top of the ranking very high. But I mean, you can twist it in any way you want to. Or it's a journal, calendar you can create as downloadable. Or you can create physical journal and upload it on Amazon and sell it with prompt 30 days doing something. Or as a little coaching program, just using the word challenge probably will be more sellable than a coaching program. Put it cheaply, just symbolic for the first run. 30 days more than challenge or more confidence. Something that is wide, that everybody could use help. Announce it and see if you'll get a group, and then whether you have prepared or not. Just like Amanda said, you could start at 0, and then if people pay you, you just have to do it. And then the easiest format would be just drip it in email every day.
Marissa Pierce does them, and sometimes she only does like a 3 or 4 day or a 7 day. You could go follow that format. 30 days right off the start, because it's a lot. If you're not sure you're going to have the energy to show up, go smaller.
Yeah, and then you can do a little write-up, and then maybe inspirational video lesson. Can be very short, can be 5-10 minutes, and then share one of the practices that you have whole toolbox. How many we've done different things in a year since the course started? Can't say you don't have anything to work with. Use all of them to make it yours, and then drip it in email. You don't even have to host it anywhere then. Completely free for you. Just create some sort of place to register and where they can pay or invoice them. And then little by little, just like Amanda, you start with 0, you build up something and see what you can shape it into later. Annie made a program for smokers and already selling. Yes, Annie. Annie is a phenomenon. Everything we've been talking about, she just does this. Yeah, she took smoking cessation course, and what, few days later you had your first client. Right, Annie? And then I suggested, well, do a program that you can sell for cheaper than you have more free time. And she did it, and she already selling it. I think we've covered everything I was planning for. What's going on with you, ladies? What are your challenges and adventures?
You're going to say hallelujah. I'm working to write a book today. I'm starting today. I know you've been waiting forever. Yeah. So today I'm just going to, I'm not doing writing today. Today I'm going to make some goals, such as refining my topic, doing some research, creating an outline. That's my goal for today. And then giving myself, I don't think I'm going to make this an ebook. I think I might actually pursue getting this one published.
You're going to do it on Amazon?
No, I think I'm going to find a publisher for this one. This one's going to be different. So I'm going to give myself timeline for when I feel is reasonable and try to guesstimate how many pages. I have my topic. It's more what all do I want to include into it and what needs to be a separate book. So just refining that.
I don't know if you had logged on yet when I was talking about a lady I work with, but there's a publisher that does a lot like of the multi-author stuff. So I'm not interested in it because you have to pay and you don't really make the profit. They donate the profit, but I've noticed other people are gaining a lot of clientele. If you wanted, like, if you're interested in looking into something like that, yeah.
No,
either,
just
but yeah.
a straight published by myself kind of book. Yeah, it's going to be about my experiences throughout life. And so essentially I had my awakening when I was like 16 years old, and I didn't yet fully understand it, but I essentially encountered source. I encountered God, and I didn't have that awareness of what had taken place. So the goal of my book is more or less to share that, because people don't know who we are, or where we come from, or where we go back to. And I feel like if they knew, it would change everything. They change the way they look at each other, the way they treat each other, the way they live. So that's kind of my goal. I don't want to go in with anybody else. I don't want to Amazon.
No, I
I'm
understand.
putting on the big girl panties and I'm going to go do it.
Well, I always look at it too, if it helps one person get through whatever, you know, life challenges they're getting through, or somehow inspires or motivates them, then it was worth it, you know?
Yeah.
So, good luck.
Thank you. So I may come back and bug Guzalia about it.
Have her review it.
We'll do interview. Few ways people write the books. One of them, well, simplifying everything. You just make a list of questions that eventually you can adapt to a table of content. But you make a list of questions and then answer all of them. And here's your book. Or it's called Snowflake. You basically tell whatever you want to say in short, and then every time you reread it, you build up on it like a snowball. And also in trance, obviously.
It's something I want to try to do more, like intentionally, but it's funny because I have like a box of my writing from over the years, and I go back and read it and I'm like, I wrote that? Like, where did that come from? You know?
I did workshop in Virginia. We were for whole weekend in a cottage, rented cottage. So there were a few people, all with, well, they did. I didn't. I was hypnotizing them. So we would just make breaks for food, bathrooms, short spans. Some of just 45 minutes, some an hour and a half of writing blocks. I just put them in a trance. All they did is write. And then we have a break, and then we do again and again. People wrote entire romances there. Praise that. If speaking is easier, then do it on recording and then transcribe it. For some people, it's easier than write. You just tell a story. Imagine you're talking to your best friend.
I think it gets you over the anticipation of busting through that blank page, you know, because then you've got something already there to kind of work with.